Hi friends, welcome to another YouTube video. Today we're going to talk about metabolic bone disease. Now, metabolic bone disease is it happens because of poor husbandry, or when you take care of your turtle, tortoise, any other reptile poorly. So the main factors are improper diet, bad humidity, especially if it's a tortoise or turtle, and lighting and substrate can go into it, but those are the main things. Now I brought a tortoise with me. Her name is Lay. She has metabolic bone disease. This is her. Now, if you look at her, she's very different compared to every other turtle or tortoise I have. You can see the pyramiding is very severe, and if you look closely, one part of it, it's saddleback shape. So if you look at a saddle, you know how they have the indent, just like that. She can have this banana, but the main things, if you look closely, you see all those divots. This is the causes. Now, it can get really worse than this. So sometimes you'll have it when this is really sunken down and then this comes up. So what this can cause, especially on females, is if they get bred by another male, sometimes they can't lay eggs because if you think about it, they're pressing on all their organs. Most of their organs are up here and not down here. So their lungs are up here, so it's getting pressed down, everything. So you have to be really careful with these animals. And if you look, she has all these misshapen parts of her shell, even her backside too. Um, Overall, she's healthy right now. And if you look closely, she has pretty long nails. I've been trimming them down. Sometimes, if it's improper diet, what they can get is a really long beak. Hers is fine right now. So she was fed Meow Mix cat food, I believe. Now hers is somewhat long, but she was found early enough that she does not have that long of a beak. It's really, you can't get these guys back to what they used to look like. This starts from a hatchling. That's why humidity. So if you look at pyramiding, like regular tortoise pyramiding, you're usually going to get that in a captive environment. Now, when you keep these guys in captivity, especially as your pet, you're going to want to keep these guys high humidity from hatchlings, even at 6 months old. Keep it around 85%. 90, I started off at 90 for most of my younger babies. And then you'll get no pyramiding, nice smooth shell. That's how it should be. But when you have poor humidity, you can get this. And if it's poor lighting, soft shell, whatnot, all babies are going to come out soft. But as they get older, if it's still soft when they're like 1 year old or maybe two, once they reach that age where it should be hard, then you know something's up. Now, this is part of her diet. She was fed Meow Mix cat food, like I said. Um, because of that, that's why her beak and all this, she may or may not have internal problems. I'm pretty sure she doesn't. Now, this is a rare occasion food also. This is just a treat for her since it's high in sugars. But sometimes what can happen if you feed these guys high protein foods, they can't have protein. They do need protein in the diet. But if it's like Meow Mix cat food, they can get obese. Same thing with chicken and whatnot. But if you look closely, her front nails are fine, but if you look at her back nails, like I said, they're pretty long and gnarly. But this can all be avoided if you take in the steps that you should do when researching about your baby tortoise. Now, pyramiding is caused by too low of humidity. Babies in the wild will go into microclimates when they hide, and that microclimate is very high in humidity, maybe 90%, 85%. But that's how they get a nice smooth shell. You rarely see pyramiding in the wild unless it's a species that lives in a dry place, and you'll usually see that fluctuate in certain places. But when you're in captivity, you have control over that. So you're going to want to do your best to get high humidity to replicate what they would be in as babies. Now, with high humidity, you can get nice smooth shells. Low of humidity, this kind of pyramiding, which is sad for them because this affects all their internal organs, especially if it uh, goes into this indent here. Now, the way pyramiding works is that keratin scoots or keratin plates stack up on top of each other, causing this. Some people might think it's cool, but it absolutely is not healthy for these guys. So you can see all these growth lines. It's been growing up this way, and not flat, not even. It's been growing up that. So that's how pyramiding works. Now I'm gonna go back there to the enclosures and grab another tortoise who is opposite of her and has no pyramiding, very smooth shell, and was raised right. So stand by while I go grab her. Alright, so here's Scooter. Now you guys may already know who Scooter is. Her leg problem, that's why she scoots around. But in comparison to Lay, you can see, look how smooth that shell is. Very nice, very healthy, and this is very good for her, especially if she's a female, because she needs all that room to lay eggs. Now this was caused by good humidity, high humidity, um, proper diet, proper substrate, proper enclosure, all of those things, and proper lighting. That's why you want to aim for this when you get a baby tortoise, especially if they're young. Now, if you get this when they're older, you know you're doing everything right. If you start seeing pyramiding, you got to figure out what you're doing wrong. That's why I always do your homework before you buy a baby tortoise. I cannot stress that enough. You must do your homework. We have smartphones now. We have everything. You can go on Google. Google it up. Look for reliable sources. Then you can see how you should take care of your tortoise. Now, like I said, study before you get your tortoise, any pet, any reptile, anything, any animal that you're gonna own, especially if it lives a long time, just like a tortoise, because they're hardy. But just because they're hardy doesn't mean they can withstand the things that Lay has. She's been going well. So you want this, not what Lay has. So that's why I always study, and it's better for your tortoise, and you can live with it much longer. And there's so many good websites and books, just like this, The Redfoot Tortoise, Volume 4 of Tortoises of the World. And this explains how to care for them and all the species, what they need, what they eat, all where they live, and you can research if you find those in those websites and books where they live. Then you can research what's the climate there. If you have the similar climate, maybe you can keep it out 365 days a year. So that's why it's all important to do your research. Now, this book was gifted to me by a good friend named Mike. He gifted me Boris as well. This book is really good. It explains everything about the redfoot tortoise, where they live, the geographical differences, everything like that, all that fun stuff. And because of this, I know more about the redfoot tortoise than I ever did. So that's why it's important that you do your research. And these books are great because if you look on many websites, many books, there's more websites now because before books were the key thing. So if you look through all of these, you can know more, and it's very important so you can raise these animals right. Now again, this video was about metabolic bone disease, or otherwise known as MBD, and I hope you guys learned a lot from this video, especially for the care of your tortoise before buying a tortoise, because that's so important to do your research. We have phones now, we have all those computers, whatnot. You can go on so many valid websites to do your research about the species of tortoise you own. So that's why always do your research so you can get a nice healthy tortoise like her. They can live a long life with you, and you can always cherish them. Thank you for watching today's video, and I hope you learned, and I'll see you guys in the next video.